All I can say is about time this grass is ready. Hello farmers, welcome back to Wyther Farms. Summer is here, spring went by really quick. It rained most of the time. I didn't get any jobs done anywhere. No one was really hiring to go into their fields. The fields were kind of wet and damp and no one wanted the tractors to go into the fields. And the only work I got done was fertilizing our field up at Wyther Farms. And yep, Sherman is gone. Everything's gone up there. But I got up there and fertilized the field at least before the crops started growing. Our crops are just about ready over there on the other side of the VGA, but today, I finally get to mow the grass. In June, finally. I did spend a lot of time in the garage repairing the equipment. So things like this mower, since we bought it last year, yep, this mower is ready. Finally at 100%. I thought about painting it as well, but I passed on it because I don't know what I'm going to do with this equipment as of yet. But today, definitely go ahead and get this grass mowed. I want to go ahead and pick it up as soon as I can because it's such a really good day. I don't want this grass to turn into hay. I definitely need to make it into silage because I need some cash. I've been losing, well, I shouldn't say losing cash. I've been paying off loan interest on a loan. Been paying for repair jobs, paid for some fertilizer. Didn't quite have enough to get the field done up by Wyther Farms. I had to go down to the store and buy some. But it's going to pay off when that crop is good and ready. Meanwhile, as far as I know, I went by the other day and I saw a combine being dropped off at the shop up the street. So I'm thinking that's the combine that I'm kind of saying I'd like to take a look at before I go ahead and buy it. But when I say buy it, it's kind of like a contract have with the store of I got to pay it by the end of the year. It's not a loan I'm going to the bank. It's just I'm going to the store. The store's being awfully nice to, well, I don't want to say give me the combine and header, but I better pay it off by the end of the year. If I don't, then the interest rate's going to skyrocket and I'll owe a lot on the combine. But probably have to give them the rest of today to go ahead. They're going to give it a once over, but I'm going to go up the street and look at it at some point today just to make sure. And if all goes well, I'll probably have a combine tomorrow, which might be kind of key because the crops around here are darn near ready. So if they were planted last fall, they're pretty close to being ready for harvest, which is good. I have looked into silos as well for the farm. And then I thought, well, that's not going to benefit me too much this year. And it sounds kind of weird saying that because the harvest is coming up. But I owe the Douglases, I owe Sherman $20,000 for the trailer. And if everything goes well with the combine up the street, that's going to be $120,000 for the combine and header. So a total of 140,000 pounds I'm going to owe. So I really don't have any time to store crops and sell when the price is good. I just need to go ahead and turn around and sell it. And hopefully I get enough cash to pay off all the loans. I would like to get that done by mid-fall. Get all that taken and squared away on. And also I'd like to pay off a lot of the loan I got left on this tractor. I shouldn't say this tractor. I mean, originally it was kind of for this tractor, but the land around here and all that. But this silage that I'm making today, well, silage bales will be making today. Won't be able to sell it for a couple days. We've got to ferment and turn to silage. But we should get a decent amount of cash from that as well in a couple days. And I'm hoping sometime in the fall to mow this grass again. So the money will be coming in, but the key thing is what's going to happen when the harvest comes. That's going to determine what happens around here on the farm. What I can do, well, in the next winter. Winter is a good time to go ahead and get some upgrades done on the farm. Especially the first couple of days because it's not as cold out the first couple of days of winter. At least it wasn't last season, so have to see how this season goes. But now to the task at hand today, which is obviously mowing this field, and then I got to go up to the farm, up to the store, and yep, got at least a windrower. Got to get these all in rows so I can go ahead and bale it on up. I mean, I could save myself a little bit of cash and just go around with the baler and pick it up as it is, but that'll take me forever. So definitely paying a small leasing fee for the windrower for like a half an hour is definitely going to benefit us and get the job done soon because the longer I take to do this grass is really, really dry. Even though it rained most of the spring, it's so windy that it's drying up really, really quick. At least it appears it's going to be that way. I mean, to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, the crops are not even wet. So it's really gotten really dry around here. But springtime, it rained quite a bit. But yeah, it was a little weird 2 days ago. It was actually 2 days ago. I was up at Wyther Farms and spreading fertilizer down on the field. I waited until the crops grew and germinated. I have a couple spots up there that didn't germinate, but overall I'd say it's like 98% germinated and growing. But I want to make sure the crops did grow, and they did. And then I threw some fertilizer down, so hopefully in the fall we'll go ahead and harvest that one up and sell that as well. So we do have a nice trailer. But I'm very interested to go up and see this combine and head out here very shortly. But first I got to mow this grass before I go up and get the windrower. And then of course bale it up and wrap it up today, and that's all I got pretty much done. So basically, I don't think this year I'm going to get much work done for others. I want to go over and see Mr. Who again. The only reason why is I would like to do some more work for him, obviously to get some cash. But if I were to harvest the barley field over on the other side of the BGA and we get enough cash where I can pay off Sherman Douglas and also the store for the combine and trailers and such, and I go to harvest up by Wyther Farms this fall, maybe I can, if he's got silo space, maybe leave some silo space from him. Unless the crop price is good, then it's not going to matter. But it all depends on how the rest of the season goes, when we do harvest, how fast we can pay off the debts that I have growing. But this is going to help right here, doing the silage. The silage alone should pay for the trailer. And that barley field, I still don't understand last season why that field is as cheap as it is compared to all the other fields around here. It just seems kind of odd that it's that cheap. But I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it at all. Something very relaxing today about mowing this grass. Maybe it's the thought of the money coming in a couple days, but it's just one of those summer mornings that you wake up where the temperature is just right, humidity's low, sun shining in your face. It's just a beautiful day, a gorgeous day, and it's been a relaxing year to start with. I mean, coming here last year, the tension of, not really knowing anyone around here, not knowing how it's going to go, and only a year later, I got my own farm with a huge field to harvest in a couple days. I thought I'd be a little bit stressed with the possibility of having $140,000 to pay off real soon to the store and to Sherman Douglas at the same time also having a bank loan. But I'm so relaxed. I think it's just knowing that money is going to come in and it's not going to be much of an issue. Meanwhile, I did text the store and ask if I could lease the windrower, and said I need it for about maybe 30 minutes, not even. So I'm getting the lease really cheap, $300. I even told him I'd even wash it for him because, well, I got a pressure washer now, so we can go ahead and do that and return it nice and clean. Make sure all the grass is off before we bring it on back. I'm going to go ahead and wash our mower when I bring it back too. Put that away until, I would say, early to mid-fall, depending on how busy I get harvesting my own field. Or I should say, my own fields. Should tear up some of these bushes that are on the headland here, but I'll have to get permission probably from the other farmers just to make sure they're okay with it, even though I think it's on my property. But there is the grass all mowed. Yeah, the reason why I started real early today, even though I don't have no other work to do, is this also I just want to make sure I get this grass wrapped up before it even dries up. I don't want the possibility of it turning to hay on me at all. So the mower's been repaired, and now I'm going to give it a good wash. Yeah, it didn't seem like the paint was that worn on it, because you got to remember, last season we bought all this mowing equipment and wrapping equipment used from the previous owner who actually had this land. So kind of worked out for us, but yeah, maybe this could be the last year that I use it. We'll have to see. The mower, the mower I don't mind keeping. The mower is fine for the amount of grass that we got here. That's perfectly fine. But nope, do that. But as for the baler, and the wrapper is fine as well, but it's just the baler that is driving me nuts a little bit. It's a slow processing baler, so I'd like something maybe a little bit quicker. And if the harvest goes really well this year, like I said, in the fall, early winter, we might be doing some things around the farm. A silo is an option. I did look at, like I said, looking at prices for silos. They're not. Well, let me rephrase that. They're expensive, but they're not really expensive for what they do. But they're just expensive because I don't have the current cash to do so. But maybe getting a silo, because next year I won't be as much money rushed as I am this year. So when I harvest the big barley field, and I'm going to replant that. I mean, I did get the soil sampling done, so yeah, I want to replant that. Will I replant it this fall and let it go through winter? I'm not sure. I may wait until next season before I plant it. But at least when I harvest next year, we'll be able to keep the crop, hopefully, and wait for a good day on price. So there is the combine that got delivered last night, and I do believe this is the combine that we're going to write up a deal for if it all works rather well. Let me get the windrower hooked up first. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and ask if that's the combine. If it is, I'm just going to take a few minutes and see if I can, if it is the combine, I'll see if they got the keys and see if it's okay to at least run it so I can maybe get the paperwork on it. And because I would like to get it tomorrow. That way I could get it back to the farm, and since I have my own tools, I can repair it. Because the deal is, they're just going to give it a quick once over to make sure it's in running order, not in good condition. But just make sure it's in good running order for me. Let me go to the store and see if that's the combine. I'm pretty sure it is. Alright, got the keys right in my hand. They told me to leave the keys in the combine because their technician will be out in a while to run it. Well, she does fire up. That's a good thing. And it opens on up here. Let's see, forward, brakes, reverse, brakes. Looks alright. Inside the cab's still a little dirty, probably from last year's harvest. But overall, it's looking okay. Yeah, the interior looks all like in one condition. I don't see no rips and tears anywhere. It's actually not in that bad shape here. It's got about only 120 hours on it, so it's not that much. I'll leave the keys into it, but I'll hop on out. So it looks like it's in pretty good shape. And of course, it's got the header to go with it. Try and take a good look at the teeth down below. I guess I could just buy a couple teeth and maybe go back and repair if they need to. I see like one or two teeth down there may need to be changed out. Nothing too serious from what I can see, but you know, let their technician go over it. And who knows if everything goes well. I'll have the combine tomorrow and get to work on it myself, and then before long I'll be in the field harvesting my crop. Now here is another piece of equipment that maybe I should be buying, but really for the amount of time I'm going to use it, and if I can lease it for $300 every time, I mean I can almost lease it like 100 times before I would technically have paid for it. So right now I think leasing for $300 every time is the best way to go, because who knows, in the future maybe I'll have a huge grass field and this size windrower wouldn't do me justice. So for now, yeah, let's go ahead and keep on leasing it. I mean, it's only going to be twice a year, it seems like. We're getting some nice rows going here. And before long, we'll get our baler out. Get this grass baled as soon as I can, and then, of course, get it wrapped as soon as I can. Yeah, it's just you can almost feel the air. It's gonna be like one of those hot days here. It's gonna be just one of those hot, dry days. It's kind of weird how it's going because, like I said, spring seemed like it rained every day, on and off, on and off, on and off. It was hard, I'm pretty sure it was hard to get some field work done. I'm lucky that I got this field seeded up by Wyther Farms when I did. But I mean, I guess the first couple days it rained on and off. The ground wasn't that wet, but after about 3 days of it, the ground just started getting really, really wet. So I can imagine getting in the field with some tractors. I've heard a couple of stories from Sally down at the general store that some tractors were getting stuck in the fields. Well, luckily for me, this grass field here is looking really, really good. I have not looked at the forecast for the next couple of days, and I should do that. Just because, you know, we're going to have a harvest here pretty darn soon. So I should probably go ahead and have a quick look at the forecast here pretty shortly just to see what it's like. I was just kind of focused on this day here because I knew the grass would be ready. And it hasn't rained now for about 30 hours or so. So hopefully this weather does kind of keep up a little bit. Although I wouldn't mind a little bit of rain at night because our other field up by Wyther Farms, that's still growing, so a little bit of water for those crops up there would be nice. Part of me has thought about cutting down the trees in this grass field because when it comes time to actually cut the grass and work around the trees, it does become a little bit of a nuisance once in a while. But I feel like the trees kind of protect the grass a little bit in the summertime. So on days like today where the sun's just beating down on it, it's a dry, humid. It's just a dry, hot day. The trees do at least give the grass some shade so the grass doesn't burn out. So I'm just about done windrowing here, and of course the next step is baling it. And then comes the long process of wrapping it. Well, as promised, I'm going to give the windrower a good wash, and I'm just going to leave it here. I'm not going to bring it right back up to the store because I want it to dry. Don't want to go up the street with a wet windrower because any dust that's on the road that we're going to kick up, or any dust that comes off our tractor, will stick right to it, and it won't look as clean as it would be if I were to bring up when it's dry. Shouldn't take too long on a day like today. Alright, now it's time to get the baler and wrap up these grass bales. Sneak up to the baler nice and quiet so it doesn't know what's going to happen to it, which means it's going to get to work. Only 3 bales in, and I'm already thinking about it. When it comes time to harvest the barley field in a couple days, we're going to be getting a lot of straw, and I'm already wondering what it would cost me to be able to lease maybe a square baler, and maybe a baler that does bigger bales, just to reduce how many bales I got to pick up. It's going to take me a long time to pick up the straw. I mean, if it's too expensive, definitely not going to go and do it. The good thing about straw is I can kind of, I don't want to say take my time too much on to pick it on up if I had to do it with this baler. But I think what I'm going to do is see how much we're selling the barley for and how much we actually get off that field, because I have no idea the production of that field whatsoever. It's our first year harvesting that field. And we got kind of lucky buying the field with a crop in it. And I don't have any history on the field whatsoever. I mean, what we got for all this silage equipment, I guess we'll call it, what we paid for it last year was a steal. Because it definitely, I got my money back on it already from harvesting this grass field. It's allowed me to do much more as well. It's just going to take me a little time to bale up the grass, but like I said, don't really have anything else to do today. I just want to make sure I just get the grass wrapped before. I mean, I think if once I bale it, it's fine. It's not going to turn from grass to hay once it's in the bale. So yeah, I think just getting it baled up first, then I don't have to worry about it. But somewhere around 50 some odd bales is what we'll get.
Take me back to the old dirt road where Mama and Papa used to go. Let's sing all them songs from a long time ago and pine for them old days of yore. Well, let me run through the breeze like the leaves on the trees. Let me fly like the leaves when they fall. Well, let my mind go serene like a cool water stream that runs from the mountain so tall. Oh, take me back down the old dirt road. Take me home to rest where the mockingbirds nest and to cry through the green in the spring. Let's go back a ways to the old bygone days and the simple time we lived back when. Well, let the pull of the plow bring the sweat from my brow and the glow of the fire pull me home.
It definitely takes us a little bit more time with this baler just because when it's full, yep, you got to back up, wait, unload it, wait for it to close, and then you may continue. So I think maybe just looking into a baler that fits my needs a little bit better, but I may have to wait another year to do so. But definitely thinking about the barley field across from the BGA. I may be leasing one. It could take a while to bale it with this, but once again, I would like to, but I think I'm just going to wait and see how our money situation is going with the barley. I mean, if we sell the barley for a really good price, we get a really good yield, and I get more money than I can think of getting, then maybe we'll do something. We'll trade in the baler and do something else, but gotta see how that harvest goes first of all. Definitely a good amount of bales out of here, but the good news is I'm getting it done, and it's just only getting to be 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm actually thinking about maybe just taking a quick break here, head on down and see Sally, get myself a cup of coffee. Didn't really have anything this morning. Just got up and saw the grass was nice and dry, and I thought, well, you know what? Let's get to baling it, or cutting it and baling it. Get it done soon. Go around, pick up a little bit of the scraps here and there. I think that will just about do it. Just looking for any. I know there might be a little bit pieces here and there. Oh yeah, I forgot about this little stretch on the other side of the tree. And there might be a couple straggly pieces here, but overall, it's pretty much picked up. I got that one little mound over there. I'm going to go over and grab that. All right. Unwrap that tiny little bale that we have there. Go ahead and turn this off. fold it on up, and we'll bring it back, give it a good wash, let that dry up. And I'll take the windrower back. That should be nice and dry. It's been long enough. Actually, you better bring this over here because I don't want to spray this and get the windrower all wet. And hopefully that'll reach. The Roll-It 250 Roto Cut definitely has helped us out in the first year and a half we've been here. Being the third cut, the first time we didn't get enough fertilizer or anything like that done on the field. But the second time we certainly did. So it's definitely paying off for us having all this equipment around here. For what we paid for it and what we got in return, definitely was worth it. Alright, get this hooked back up and bring it back up to the store. Well, let's hook up the PTO shaft so it's not bouncing around on the way up there. Luckily the store is not too far, so hopefully it won't get too dirty at all. I'm not going to bother asking about the combine because it hasn't been long enough for them to look at it. Probably go back later on in the afternoon once I've had a little bit of time to work around the grass field. I still got to wrap up those bales today so they can get fermenting. But other than that, I don't got much left else to do other than wrap up the bales and put everything away that we used. And keep my fingers crossed that this combine up here will be in my hands come tomorrow.